Hello everybody, it's Fiona Hooper here again with the Poetry of Painting. And this week I am really pleased to be able to welcome back on the show Markey Mark Symmonds. So just bear with me and let's bring...
Hi Fiona, how are you?
Hi Marky, how are you? I'm very well,
I'm good, thanks.
Yeah. Been keeping busy?
Oh, very busy, yes. What with home and other bits and pieces. It's been quite busy month. I was over in Leamington last month doing the Art in the Park, and I did the Kaya Festival this month as well in Northampton, where we had a tent called Kaya Speaks, and there was loads of poets over 3 days performing, which was brilliant. And then Excellent. I've got some more stuff coming up. So
excellent. Well, you can tell us all about that in a short while once we've had to think about our poems. And just to say to everybody who's watching, welcome. Lovely to have you on board. And if you'd like to make some comments, Chris is saying hi both, good to be back with you. Thank you, Chris. Lovely to have you back. And so please do make some comments, ask us some questions, make us feel we're not alone here. That'd be great. I know a lot of people watch on replay because of timing, everybody's busy, but do make comments, that'd be lovely. So anyway, so the painting that we... quite sure what's going on upstairs at the moment. Don't know if you can hear that. There's something going on up there. So this week we're talking about my painting, and about which we've both written a poem, and the painting is called Kingsgate Bay, Kent, and it's on the wall behind me, but I'll add it on to the broadcast there so that you can see it. And this was painted on site several years ago now. It's one of my favorites. I've never really shown it very much because I really quite fond of it. And you probably can't see really well, but the frame up there is a beautiful frame. It's hand finished, and it's got actual real genuine gold leaf on it. It was made by a really talented framer called Joe Alexander, who's done some lovely frames for me. Thank you, Joe. So it's still here, but so it was painted actually in Kent on the beach, and which was very great fun. Really enjoyed that. So there we are. So Marky Mark, as is the normal way, being polite to my guest, would you like to read your poem first for us?
I would, yes. I've called this Lonely Shadows. And that was because if you really look hard at that painting, there are 2 people on that beach, and that's all, just 2 people. Yeah. And that was what really conjured stuff up for me. Apart from the obvious white cliffs, which at first glance I assumed was Dover, but it wasn't. So this is what I wrote. Lonely figures, black shadows against the yellow sand and chalk of Kent cliffs, where no happy little bluebirds fly. Sheer height says you can't come in. Yet it surveys all the sea, and the maritime folk know this island they have stumbled across, as there lays a symbol of a barrier not to cross. Yet the calmness of the water creeping on the beaches, sand as the shadows walk hand in hand, and white foam ripples up the sand. They know they've landed in the promised land. The cliffs reach for the sky, teasing boats, never asking why, yet signalling home for travellers afar, mesmerising by that white chalk rise. And shadows keep watching for bluebirds to fly. Vera Lynn's words echo and die. Did she tell a lie, or will those bluebirds one day spy before 2 lovebirds decide to fly?
Oh, that's lovely. I love that. I love the association with the bluebirds and Vera's song, and Yeah, I don't think we've ever had bluebirds in this country, but because I think it refer to the RAF,
Yeah,
the planes and
probably did.
yeah,
But it's kind of a romantic idea, isn't it?
it
And
is.
I
Yes.
think with
Yeah.
two people walking along the sand, there's just this romance to it. It's
Mm,
the foam rolling in on the sand, the white cliffs, but then the white cliffs also saying this very clear message: this is a barrier. This is land. This is the island that you can't. You're not coming in.
yes.
And there's another
Yeah.
way, not here. And that's quite they're quite a formidable place because they're short cliffs,
Mm,
quite easy, but quite a formidable wall of rock. And so I wanted to kind of build that contrast between the love and the being in the promised land to actually this outcrop of rock that very clearly says to mariners, one, this is your home. It also says
mm.
to other people, hang on, you can't come in because you can't get over those rocks.
Yes. Yes. Chris is saying a very romantic and symbolic poem. Excellent. So
Thank you, Chris.
good praise there for you, Marky Mark. That's lovely. Thank you,
Yeah.
Chris. So yeah, that's beautiful. So hopefully you'll allow me to post it in due course
Oh,
on
absolutely.
Facebook
Yes,
and
I'll
that
send it
again
through to you.
as well. Be lovely. Thank you. So mine's obviously got some similarities because we're both looking at the same painting, but a slightly different take on it. So mine, I decided I would call it Kingsgate Bay. Bit predictable, but there we are. So here we are with mine. Kingsgate Bay. These ancient towering white cliffs, glowing golden in the lowering sun, that now rise high above the waters, were once submerged beneath the waves, formed millennia past when time was young, the lasting legacy of primordial plankton. Their chalky form makes them vulnerable. By tide and weather they are sculpted. Where once a vast plateau stretched far, now a ragged coastline borders the waves, with carved arches and tidal caverns, always changing, always receding. The glassy waters of the sheltered bay mirror the cliffs and cerulean skies, reflecting the beauty of this coastal idyll with its timeless and glorious splendor, a place of peace, a haven of tranquility, a feast for the eyes and food for the soul. So that's
Wow.
my one.
Wow, that is fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
I
Thank you.
really love that because what I love about it is the first couple of stanzas. It's almost like you're almost like relating it to human aging and about these people that have grown and created and now aging and getting old. And then the last few stanzas actually open up about how idyllic it is to actually be old and sit there and be the surveyor of all you can see and all this. And I think that for me was really powerful.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much. From a poet such as yourself, I take that as very high praise. Thank you.
It's a very good poem.
Well, and yours, it's, as you say, similarities,
Mm.
obviously with the chalk cliffs and a little bit about sort of romance and things in a way, but yeah, and the peace and calm and yeah, so brilliant. Oh, Chris says a very different poem, but equally metaphoric and symbolic. Thank you, Chris. That's lovely. Thank you. So yeah, I found that one more difficult to write than some of them. I had to let it ferment for a bit longer, that one. But it got there in the end, so that was good. So have you been doing much writing at the moment, Marky Mark?
Yeah, I've been doing a bit, and what I've got at the moment, I'm putting together a show. I've been offered a show piece at Lymington Poetry Festival, which is the
Yeah.
23rd of October, and more details to follow. The publicity should come out about it in the next week or so.
And don't forget to put links in as well after
will
this
do.
is finished, and then go back and update them later on as well when you get more details.
Yeah, that'll be brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this will be my first full-length show. It'll be 30 to 45 minutes. So I'm really looking forward to doing that, and also really dreading it as well. So, and then also I've been asked to do a feature piece for Pick and Mix, which has got a new venue, which is the Last Tea House, I think it's called, where in Peterborough, and that should be interesting to do that. Yeah, it's the Last Tea Rooms, and yeah, it's at Waring in Peterborough. So that'll be interesting to do. And again, I'll put links through to that.
Yes.
And that's on the 30th of September. That'll be an evening one.
So
there should be a range of poets there. Doing that. So yeah, so it's been great because I've been able to call, I've been in touch with such a big network of poets that I've been able to call on several poets and say, look, I've got this show that I need to put together. Give me some pointers, give me, some do's and don'ts and things like that. And they've been really helpful and really generous in giving me some guidance and that.
Good.
That's been lovely, and encouragement as well, which is as good, is as important as anything. So.
Absolutely, yes, yeah, and it's so lovely that I know a lot of artists like that as well, that painters, that they're willing to share and help and encourage, as you say, and it means so much because we're not in competition with each other after all. If somebody likes your poetry, they like your poetry. If they prefer someone else's, they prefer that. Same with the paintings. People like my work, that's great. Some people may not, and well, with all the people in the world, there will be people that don't like my work.
Yeah.
But equally, there are people that do, and it's the same. And there's no competition, because competing with another poet or another artist, it just doesn't make sense, because that's not going to change the way that people feel about our work.
No, that's right. And what was nice about things like the Kaya Festival that was at as well, there's such a range of voices and such a range of poets. You've got those poets that are, traditional slam poets that can deliver their stuff off the top of their head, brilliantly. Wow. Do a full performance of it. There's others that'll sit there and read every word. There's others that do a mixture of both. There's some that'll rap it, some that'll, so there's a whole, mishmash of poets and all writing about different subjects and approaching stuff in different ways. And it'd be, if you put 20 poets in a room and showed them this picture, you would get 20 different poems.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's the beauty of hearing all the voices that are there, and we all do it different ways. And as somebody said to me, and it really echoes with me now, is they said, you can only do you.
Yes.
You can only do what you do as you.
Yes.
So just be you, just do what you do. And that's, that's really important.
You owe it to you to be you, basically. Don't, that's,
yeah, absolutely.
Why be here and try to be someone else? We are who we are. So let's make the most of it and be that person with positivity and go for it. Yeah. So have you got a sort of mix of different subjects and things for your show, or are you not quite that far down the line yet?
Well, the show's going to be called Pineapple Fritz and Batter Bits. So and it's going to be me telling my story, and it's going to be interspersed with poetry, quite selective poetry that will bring you on a roller coaster, as I hope my poetry does, is a roller coaster of emotions through life. And so there'll be some dark stuff, there'll be some humor, there'll be some light-hearted stuff, so it hopefully people will like the mixture of what's there. and everybody will be able to find something that they can take away with them. And my books will be on sale there. And if people want to donate a coffee to me, they can, they can put a little donation in a box there for me, and that'll buy me coffees as well. So that'll be brilliant.
And you're having the show recorded, hopefully, so that you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna have words with possibly my daughter, and get her to video it, or I'll find somebody to do it for me, to actually video the show for me, so it'll then be able to go, apart from going out on the Leamington Poetry Festival, any stuff that they do and their sites, I'll be able to put it out through my social media and on my YouTube channel and things like that. So that'll be really useful to do. And I think once I get the first show under my belt, then the others will flow a bit more naturally. So I'm looking forward to it, but it is a scary prospect. To do 30 minutes is going to be, it is a tough gig.
Yes.
And I can do anywhere between 30 and 45 minutes. So it is a tough gig, but if I do it right and I practice well, it should come off okay.
Yeah, because doing 30 minutes is not, the preparation for doing a 30-minute show is a huge amount more than 30 minutes in preparation time. It's hours and hours of preparation,
that's right,
isn't it?
because you're reading stuff through, and then you might be ditching poems, putting something else in, thinking that'll work better. And particularly, I've got 4 or 5 years worth of work that I can call on to use. There's still some poems out there that have never been heard. So I've got a huge array of work that I can use. At the moment, I've probably got 5 or 6 poems in line that I think I'm going to use. But once I start working through the set out loud, I might be ditching some of those and altering stuff. And because poems are never static, often you'll go through and think, I'll change that, reword it, and so there might be 1 or 2 new versions of things. Who knows? People will have to come along and watch and listen. Buy yourself a coffee and a cake, and I like coffee and cake as well. So if anybody wants to buy me a large Americano or something, but I shall probably have had a couple of them before I go on stage, pump me up a bit. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. It should be good, and it'll be part of the whole thing that's going on in I believe for the week, at the Poetry Festival up there. So that should be really good.
Excellent. Yeah, well, do put details in the comments afterwards, as I say. So
as soon as the publicity's out, I'll put links through to it as well. So.
Yeah, and put links to your own Facebook page and everything, so people can take a look and see what you're doing. So that'd be great. But they're just looking at the painting that's on the screen there. Just takes me back to when I was there painting it, and just haven't really managed to get out much this year, and last year, partly with COVID and restrictions, and just partly with being busy as well. Because I was thinking about when I was painting that one, my easel on the sand, it was gradually getting lower and lower as the legs were sinking into the sand. But
and you've got to do it on an outgoing tide, really, haven't you? Because otherwise you land up with wet ankles.
Well, yes, quite apart from that as well, the sun moves. So if you spend more than 1 to 2 hours, 2 hours at the most, really, the sun has moved so much that the shadows are in different places, and it can change the whole look. And also, as the day goes through, the temperature of the light changes as well. So you've got sort of the cool morning light, the warmer lunchtime, and then the warm, really warm sunset type light at the end of the day. So you really need to do it.
Caught that there. You've caught the way the sun catches the white on the cliffs, and you've caught that as well in the water, and you can feel the temperature there. You can feel it's not too hot, but it's reasonably warm. I mean, the only thing that would need now is a light breeze. and you can't show that on there because it'd be invisible.
No.
But you've captured that so very well. I mean, every time I look at it, I see the white of the sun on the chalk, and that that really has been captured so well. And the beauty of that, the rolling in of those waves just on the edge of that shore is so tranquil. Just the gentleness of it as it, they're just rippling. And I could sit there if I was in that spot. I would sit there all night until I had to move. Really, just watching it roll in and roll out. And it's kind of the opposite of, I'm quite happy to sit and watch waves smash up rocks for hours. But actually, with that, I would be quite happy just to sit and watch it roll in and roll out.
Very
roll out,
tranquil.
watch that shadow change.
Yeah. I do tend to like painting scenes that hopefully make people feel tranquil and calm and peaceful, and as well as at the same time, hopefully appreciating the beauty of nature, trying to capture some of that, bring a little bit of the beauty of nature into a painting for them to have on their wall, to at the end of a long day, just to be able to sit back, look at it and think, I could just be sitting there watching those waves coming in and out, and just chill and relax. And
I think that does that. It does that. But what it also shows is somewhere quite desolate as well. So quite nobody about, so you can, and I just think there's so much depth in it. So many different ways you can read it. And it is. It's something I'd have on my wall, and you can look at and think, that's really, that's really tranquil, and I'd love to be there. Equally, I'd love to be on that sand right now, actually.
Absolutely.
Lovely.
And the thing is, you can never please everybody. Chris has got to go. Really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being with us, Chris. Lovely to have you on board. Thanks. But it's what was I going to say?
No, you can't please everybody.
Yes, thank you. Because it's got two little figures in there, not very prominent in the painting. Some people will look at that and say, well, I'd like it if it didn't have the figures in. And other people would say, oh, it could do with more figures. Or if I hadn't put any in, they'd say, well, I like it, but it needs some figures. And you never please everybody. And personally, I really quite, I'd love to be on that beach with just those two people over there, or no people, just that beach, quiet, calm, just the waves and this, probably the seabirds calling and whatever. But, but it's not for everybody. And it speaks to me. So
and that's the important thing. That's your interpretation of what you want to put over, and that's so important, because that goes the same with poetry, that we tell things in a particular way and say things in a particular way that we want to put over. And often somebody will look at and go, yeah, I get that entirely. Or they will go, no, didn't like that, you ought to change that, you ought to change that, you ought to change that. And sometimes they're right, and sometimes you think, no, I'm going to stand up to this, I'm going to stand by my piece.
Absolutely.
And other times people will read other things into stuff other than what you wanted them to read into it. I mean, one of the ones I do, Pineapple Fritter and Chips, is about my experience as a boy growing up in Ashington in Northumberland, and my mum working in a chip shop part-time, and my memories of sitting on the whitewashed windowsill eating pineapple fritter and chips, and that's what it was about. But actually, most people are really hungry when they go and want pineapple fritter and chips. When they leave, they actually want food. So it actually achieves something different to what I wanted it to achieve. But it's a cute poem, so I often do it.
Oh, lovely. You have to send that one to me. I'd love to read it. So it sounds fascinating.
Yes,
I'll probably get hungry as well, by the way. You're talking about chip shops
Well,
and chips,
well,
and I can smell them now.
one day I might get the nerve to actually buy pineapple and fritter and chips on the way to a gig and actually go on stage eating it and doing the poem. But I haven't had the guts to do it yet. So
Yeah, could get messy, maybe. Could get
yeah,
messy.
could be. I think I'd have to have a couple of mouthfuls and then pass them round. But yeah, so it's
an interesting idea.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying about the two individuals. If you don't have those two individuals there, I think it changes it would change some of what I wrote about the picture.
Yes.
That's not saying that it's wrong or it's bad, but it would change possibly what I saw in that picture. So it'd change a little bit of what I wrote. It wouldn't change it all, but some of it, or how I interpret it. But the important thing is you've interpreted it that way. You've put figures in, and you've put them in a way that they're quite subtle. And I think that's been brilliant, because you could have put them in so they're really in your face, and I don't think that would have worked.
No, wouldn't have worked for me anyway.
Yeah, the subtleness is just, it just adds that layer of mysteriousness of, you've got the tide running in. Oh, there's two people on the beach there. How did they? And you start asking questions about, well, how did they get there? Did they climb down the cliff? Is there a boat somewhere? Did they swim? Did they come down the cliff behind you? And so I think that opens up a lot more. People looking at it, thinking, I wonder how they got there. I wonder what they're doing there. Who are they?
Where did they come from? Where are they going?
Who are they? Yeah. And that for me, for a poet, that's dynamite. That's, because it gives you so many tangents to go off at, that you can go down one way or the other. I could have written it that they were immigrants that had landed on the beach. I could have, it could have been, people wandering along looking for their dog or whatever. It just gives you that. And that's, so I wouldn't feel guilty about putting that in. You wanted to put that in, and it works. It works really well. And for people who don't like that in, well, that's fine. That's not a picture for them.
Absolutely.
It's, there are a lot of people who would like that.
Well, it just seemed to work for me. So they're there. They're walking they're along there on the beach, and probably picking up the odd shell and whatever. But,
And I think that's the other thing, that when you look at it, with those two there, every time you get a different story. Because you can look at it one day and think, oh, I wonder what they're doing. Oh, I reckon they're picking shells up. Another day you might look and think, oh, they're just standing holding hands, looking out to sea. And the memories that can bring back as well. So I think it's so important. To have them in there and what it does to the picture.
Well, it's been absolutely great hearing your poem, Marky Mark, and just how you've painted that picture in words. From seeing that, how you've painted it in words in your poem, just highlighting again the poetry of painting for us. So it was brilliant. Thank you very much. Really loved it. And
thank you for inviting me again, and to what are truly fantastic pictures, and thank you for sharing your fantastic poem with everybody, because you're not just a good artist, you're a poet as well, and you weave them very well together.
Thank you. That's lovely. I am enjoying it. It's been really good fun doing this series, and it has opened up a whole new world as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's very enlightening as well, and good fun. So what could be better? So so I'm afraid that's probably about all we've got time for this week, folks. It's been absolutely fantastic having you back on the show, Marky Mark. And I hope that you've enjoyed it enough again today to come back another time pretty soon.
Oh,
think you have
I have
enjoyed
it.
it.
If you want me, if you're not bored of me yet.
No, no, definitely not bored of you. No, it's lovely as well with the people that keep coming back to the show, you know, building up a rapport and, you know, so we can just chat away even more easily, which is lovely. So, you know, I think it just works very well. And, you know, with your beautiful poems, it's an added bonus. So, yeah, so anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, whether you've been on live or on replay. And I hope you'll all be able to join me again next week for my next show, which is Wednesday, 7 p.m. UK time, live here on Facebook. So in the meantime, stay safe, have a good week. Oh, and just to let you know, I will be, weather permitting, I'll be at Kingston on Thames again this Saturday with my fellow artists showing my work there. If you're in the area, do come along, say hello, be lovely to meet up and have a chat with you. And you might even see some, I'm not sure that this painting will be there, but you'll be able to see some of my other work in person, which is lovely, but be lovely just to chat with you. So hope to see you there. And in the meantime, it's bye for now from Marky Mark, and it's bye from me. So thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.